Hi, I thought I'd start with an empty loft. A lot of model railways seem to jump in partway through the baseboard build, and I want to try and not do that. I haven't built a model railway in 30 years or so, and now that I'm older and my daughter's grown up and I've got a bit more time for myself, so after a few years of collecting, I need to start building. It's February, the loft's quite warm. Outside is about 0, and in here we're looking at about 13 degrees, so it's not actually unpleasant. My reason for building is actually partly my father. I mean, I love modelling to begin with, but actually my father never got around to building his. He collected stuff and there was never time, never made the time to do it. And I think that's a pity. I've got roughly 60 foot up here of usable space. I'm going to make an open framework, so I want a model railway that actually cuts through the scenery, doesn't just sit on top of a baseboard. I think the modelling in some ways is more important to me than running the trains. It could almost be a static model. I need to build it in sections. I'm a great one for starting and not finishing, so I need to have buildable sections that I can start something and run from beginning to end. If I don't build my base frame and actually start it, then I'm going to be like my father and it'll never get done. And in 15-20 years time, my daughter's going to be looking at this going, "Dad, why?" So I'll do a quick tour of the loft and show you the space I've got. So the loft divides into 3 sections. It's a house built for hobbits, because if you're not careful you clonk your head off everything. You have 3 main trusses that actually divide the loft. Each one you have to climb through. The loft hatch is not in the best of places. It's in the best place to have a loft hatch, but I lose a proportion of usable space. My plan for this section is to have a fiddle yard over here, and to have feeding tracks, maybe some scenery, but mainly feeding tracks that come into here. This section I want a viaduct. I want a big viaduct. Probably not a lot else. Over here I want my coal yards and basically a big industrial area running into my TMD. And over this end I want a town. And then I want to hide my main lines, because what I'd really like is to have some type of small branch line running in this section. So these sections are roughly 7.5 feet. So that's the first section, this middle section. The end section I've got about 6.5 feet. Maybe I'd push 7. I'm going to make my baseboards maybe 1.5 foot, 2 foot high. Where the cat's currently sitting, that's roughly the 2 foot mark. And what I end up losing is that by the time I've got a backboard down and I've got my baseboards coming out, I lose a large proportion of the loft. So if I make smaller baseboards, lower baseboards, then I can have my 2 foot and still have a reasonably large layout, but slightly further back. And just as I say, my father brought his stuff, and it's still sitting in their boxes. And I think it's slightly sad that I can remember as a child him buying this stuff and it just never getting used. So to that I've added my own stuff. And I think it would be even sadder if that never got used. After all, they should be running, I think. So I will be posting some more updates. I have some more stuff I need to sort out in here. This, my father stockpiled a lot of things in the loft. Not all of it makes any sense. So yeah, I will be posting more and we'll see. Thank you for your time.